All right. So we are recording, and you guys can throw yourself on mute if you want to, but certainly feel free to jump in with questions. I'm going to just go ahead and present, even though I can't see you. But if you have any questions during this call, go ahead and just unmute yourself and feel free to jump in. I'm going to try really hard to keep us on track to get us out of here in 30 minutes. So my name is Kira Smart, and some of you are watching this on video recording. So I just wanted to take the next 30 minutes and talk a little bit about what coaching means to me, what it means to my team, what coaching is, what coaching is not, how I initially got introduced to coaching, and give you a little bit of information just so you can make a decision on whether coaching is or is not for you. It's not for everyone, but for those of us who have chosen to go down the coach path, it has been a life changer, a game changer for us, and it is a decision that I made that I have never regretted. So this is me. So my name is Kira Smart. I am a Diamond Beachbody coach. I have been coaching for a little over a year now. I have been doing challenge groups for a year and a half. I am part of Team Faithfully Fit, and I will talk about them a little bit on this call. I will also talk about our kind of parent team, Shred Nation, and what comes with that is a lot of support and opportunity for growth and a lot of training. So you, as part of that family, which you would be considering joining, that would all be available to you. So I'll definitely go into a little bit on Beachbody as a company, kind of how long they've been around, how they initially started, and why the coaching opportunity was born 10 years ago. I'll talk about what coaching is, what coaching is not, a little bit on the compensation plan, because I think that is important. All of us that are coaches on this team are generally here to help pay it forward and to help people kind of change their lives a bit through challenge groups. But certainly we are here in the end because of the compensation. So I did definitely want to touch on that. As well as there's kind of three main options when it comes to coaching, and you can pick one of the three that typically works best for you, and we'll get into those a little bit. So who am I? So I have a full-time job at Google. I'm in staffing. I was in finance when I graduated college. I went into recruiting. I worked for an agency in San Diego doing legal recruiting for many years, and transferred into Google, and I have been at Google for 7 years now almost, doing staffing. 2 years ago, I moved into a leadership recruiting role, which I have loved. I am the mom of these two crazy kids over here off to the right, two boys. I always say that I am the only estrogen in my household. I have a little dog, Yorkie, so all boys in my house. And I decided to become a coach a year ago because of the transformations that I saw in my body. And I'll chat about that in a little sec. But Katie, I've got you on the call also. So do you want to take a second just to talk about what you do and like for your day job and why you got interested in coaching?
Sure. So I had a baby in September last year, and Kira had approached me to be a challenger. And kind of like what she said, you see a transformation. And for me, it was not just the physical transformation. I felt like myself again. And it was something that was just too important not to share with my friends and family. And I went into coaching thinking it would be a hobby. I had one friend that really wanted me to be her coach, and that's the only reason I really started. And then I saw the opportunity and the camaraderie and the team that we're really on. And it's really rewarding, not only to help people, but it helps me be a better person. And I also am doing this part-time because I am a project manager at a pharmaceutical company. And I've been doing that for a long time now.
Awesome. And we'll get into a little of the training later. Katie, I'll probably have you chime in to talk about how you balance that a little bit, and I'll talk about it as well. But it's kind of interesting going into these before shots, because I had to go back like a year and a half and kind of look at the person I was and kind of how I got there. So before Beachbody and before discovering challenge groups, I was 20 pounds overweight. I'd had 2 awesome boys. So my body was, a little bigger for very good reason. But I had gone through 3 cycles of IVF, and have 2 amazing boys as a result of that. I went through 3 years of a lot of fertility treatments, and those hormones definitely take a toll on your body. And so when I finally had 2 amazing boys, I was so grateful, but they were not the best sleepers. And Katie is part of my mom's group, and she had not the greatest sleeper either. So the 2 of us commiserated over this for a bit of time. I definitely was very comfortable and used to 2 to 3 wake ups per evening, and balancing that with a full-time job was definitely tough. So I remember sitting in boardroom meetings just being exhausted, and especially when they got to like speaking about numbers or things that were a little drier or where I was not actively participating, I literally felt like I was falling asleep. I was exhausted. So I felt like I was eating very unhealthily. I was in a new leadership position at work. So I was really a lot of anxiety and stress that came along with that. So a lot of change. And I felt just very overwhelmed. I had a lot of things going on at the same time. New mom to 2 boys, all of that. So the balance is not easy, and it is a struggle on a daily basis. I had typically been very healthy in the past. So had been athletic growing up. I would always consider myself someone who went to the gym regularly. But obviously having my second baby, that was really tough to get to a gym regularly. I could barely get myself out of bed in the morning. So the thought of having to get myself to a gym, and then I literally had no one else that would be watching my boys. My husband was working some crazy hours as he was trying to get a startup off the ground. So I just was really inconsistent with my health and fitness. So I think it's so funny, this middle picture of me, like I don't even recognize that person. It's so weird to see my face like that, but was just in a very, tough space. And it was just that was just part of what I thought was mom life. This is just my new body. This is just how my new life that I need to settle into. So one of my rock bottoms, this picture on the low left, which actually is a pretty cute picture of me and Mike, was one of my rock bottoms. I went to a trip to Cabo, which was a really good friend's 40th birthday. And I literally felt like that kind of friend that was so uncomfortable with her body and weight. Everyone else seemed so skinny and confident and comfortable. And I just felt so uncomfortable, which was so unlike me. So it was kind of a point where I figured I needed to seek something out and find a program or process or something for me that was going to work. So this girl on the right found a Beachbody program, and this was my day one. Obviously, I did not think that I would ever show this picture to anyone publicly. So no smile, it just kind of looks like a mugshot. But that was my Beachbody day one. And I'd already probably lost like maybe 7 to 8 pounds. I started running again, but it just wasn't consistent. And I needed something that would give me a really quick shot in the arm to keep me on track. So I found 21 Day Fix Extreme. I did it for 21 days, and I lost probably 4 to 5 pounds, nothing too drastic, but my body completely changed. So I immediately knew in like day 7 or 8 that this was something that I already could see some changes working for me. So I was super excited about it. And kind of this new lifestyle was born. I became just kind of really excited about these programs. So in the beginning, I would do like 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, but it became a lifestyle for me. And 4 months in, I was probably 15 pounds lighter. I felt just like I was getting my confidence back again. And that's where I started entertaining the idea of coaching. I started thinking that I wanted to help pay this forward to other people. I really felt like everybody deserves to have that feeling. It's almost like that confidence in a bottle. Like if I could wrap this into a little bottle and give it to every single woman that I knew, because everyone deserves to feel that way. Everyone deserves to feel like they are themselves again, especially if you've had kids or you've gone through something that kind of sets you back in life. You just want to feel like that human being that can walk into a room and just wear a dress and feel really comfortable. And that's where I found myself again. So I started thinking, what about this coach thing? I started noticing that in the groups, the challenge groups that I would be part of, there was a ton of positive energy. Everyone was really supportive. And I really loved that community. And I wanted that community in my life. I started noticing that positivity started breathing into my work. I started noticing that I became a better leader just because I was feeling more confident. And so I decided to dip my toe into coaching. I was incredibly busy. People had approached me about doing side businesses in the past, and I was very adamant about the fact that I had no time, and that was no joke. But there was something different about this. I was just very passionate about the product. I was very passionate about what it did for me, and I wanted to pay it forward. So these are some pics of me now. I have definitely become more active, and I love this 1, 2, 3, 4 pic. This is me in my Port of Force week 1, 2, 3, and 4 from December. And the bottom line is we never have an after picture. Like we are constantly struggling for that balance. But what I love about these groups is I will never fall far off track. And I always know how to kind of pull myself back because these groups keep me so accountable. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Team Faithfully Fit, which is our group of coaches. And that would be your group of coaches if you decide to go into doing some coaching. We have about a group of 500 coaches in our downline. These are some of the faces, and some of you may have seen these from some posts that I've done on Facebook. This top pick is at a leadership retreat we just had last week in Connecticut, which was amazing. Some great team building. Some of these, like this is pictures from Summit, where we've done some traveling together to learn and to become better coaches and what's working in our businesses and learn from people who have been incredibly successful, which has been an awesome opportunity. There are a ton of different kinds of coaches in our in Faithfully Fit, and then in our parent kind of coach family of Shred Nation, which is much larger. But just to know that you have access to a lot of different resources that can help make you successful in this business. These are people who are encouraging. They are fun to be around. Katie can attest to that. This is just a good, positive group of people that has made my life so much richer and continues to make it incredibly rich. So in being a coach on this team, there is a ton of support. So if there's anything I want you to come away from this call on knowing is that you don't need to have any kind of fitness background. You don't need to have any kind of nutrition background. You will learn all of these things along the way. There is a fairly steep learning curve. It probably takes a good 3 to 4 months before you even really kind of start getting the real gist of things. And I would actually argue to say that your whole first year is probably some really significant learning. I've been doing this for a little over a year now, and I will say I'm just at the point where I feel like I might have it. So we do bi-weekly training calls, Zoom calls just like these, where we jump on a 45-minute call together and go through some training. When you become a coach on the team, we have what's called a Getting Started Right training. It goes for 2 weeks. It's kind of like a coach boot camp, and it's 15 minutes a day. They're recorded sessions, so you can kind of do it at your leisure. And it is basically the boot camp that gets you started into how to be a coach. So you graduate from that program really with a good understanding of, it's like you have a toolkit developed and you are ready to be a coach, get out there, maybe do some posts on social media, and start actively participating, maybe as a coach in a challenge group, and getting your business started. For more advanced training, there is Emerald to Diamond training, which Katie and I have both gone through, and we have a Facebook group for our team. So any kind of questions that come up, you have a whole support network, tons of trainings and postings that are put on that Facebook group. It basically is a way to connect us. We are coaches from all across this country, and we feel incredibly connected because of the technology that we use to stay in contact with each other. The last part that I'll talk about is Voxer. And Voxer is an app on your phone. It's kind of like a walkie-talkie app. And Voxer is something that has changed my world. It's been so helpful to stay connected to these girls on Voxer on a daily basis. For me, because I work full-time and I'm in meetings almost probably every half-hour block of the day, except for that lunch hour, I can Vox the team. If I have a question related to a challenge, or I'm just wondering like if a specific workout program might be like effective for somebody with a specific issue, probably when I get out of that meeting, somebody has voxed me back with an answer. So just basically want to leave you with the fact that there is a ton of support and training with this team. So you don't need to know all the answers. You will be taught and you will learn over time. Katie, do you want to talk really quickly, just maybe for a minute or so, about how you balanced getting started right and a full-time job? I might comment on that also, but how were you able to do that? Did it seem like it was overwhelming? Like, how did you manage to do that while being a mom and balancing a full-time career?
You know, one of Tracy, who is the founder of Team Faithfully Fit, says it best as, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. So it's, it really, if you look at it and whenever you jump in and try and learn anything new, it can be really overwhelming. But if you break it down into little bits, and that's what's nice is the training has been, Tracy's been running it for almost 2 years now. So she's gotten it to the point where it gives you the little bits and the little tools to get started. And then as your business grows, you can find all the other information that you need. So, it's one of these things where it's kind of the prioritize what you need to know in the beginning. And like Kira, you said, there's just a ton of resources. And I think I asked you 100 questions over Vox in my first month.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been a process, right? So I am going to really quickly. Okay, just for a sec, wanted to make sure it was still recording. Okay, so I will say balancing it with a full-time job was actually really, the fact that it was a recording, I think really helped me. I was, I'm a person who comes home from work. My kids are like my life for that 3 hours till they go to bed. And then I'm back on the computer again doing work. So the fact that I was able to watch those trainings from like 10 to 10:30 at night or 10 to 10:15 at night was, that was my time. People have hobbies outside of their full-time careers. Like some people are soccer coaches, some people do yoga training. This was my kind of hobby that I was like, I really believe in this and I want to pay it forward. So let's go learn what this is all about. And you don't learn it all at the same time. Like exactly what Katie was saying, it is little by little and bit by bit. But Tracy, here on the right-hand side of this picture on the bottom, is my coach, and she's freaking fantastic. Some of you may have been in challenge groups with her. She's a mom of 4. I don't know how she balances being such an awesome coach with such a huge team. And with these 4 kids, all under the age, I think they're all under the age of 7. So she's definitely busy. I think she spends 3 hours in her car a day running these kids around. Like, it's crazy what she can balance. But she has developed a methodology that has worked. So it's simple. Everything about this business is incredibly simple, but it does require hard work. It does require dedication, and it does require a passion for helping people. I think those are the big commonalities that you'll notice with every single one of these girls in this picture, is that we all have a passion for helping people and paying it forward. And otherwise we wouldn't be here. So let me quickly talk about Beachbody as a company. So Beachbody was founded by Carl Deichler and John Condon, and most people know Beachbody as an infomercial company. So I'm obsessed with infomercials, especially fitness infomercials, and I love watching them. I had watched Insanity and P90X infomercials for years, but certainly people can buy a workout program on TV. They can drink Shakeology, but they were finding that people were not finishing their programs. So they didn't have these amazing success stories. They had some, but they could have so many more transformations if they figured out the glue that held people accountable and helped them finish their programs. So about 10 years ago, they created the coaching opportunity to kind of fill that void in the market to help keep people accountable. So this way, they had the fitness piece, they had the nutrition piece, and now they had the glue in these coaches to hold people accountable and make sure that they stayed on track. People who were products of the product, we talk about that a lot, and they saw success and had their own transformations and were just sharing that and helping to motivate and inspire others. So the company has tremendous ties to the military. I love that piece that's mentioned on this slide. We waive our coach fees for military, and definitely is a strong belief of the company. The company also offers a lot of trainings. So we have a couple of trainings and trips that are offered to us as business builders or just coaches throughout the year. Summit is one of the big ones. And I was lucky enough to go to Summit in Tennessee this last summer. And it's so amazing. First of all, it's great team building for the team members that do go. It was an awesome opportunity to finally meet my team in person. I had known them for like 7 or 8 months and been coaching alongside them, but I never got a chance to meet them in person. That's the benefit of building this business, because a lot of it's virtual. So Summit, we have Success Club trips. The next one is in April, and it's in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic at the Hard Rock Cafe, which is an awesome trip to basically reward those of us who have made Success Club, which is a certain status each month. And it's a lot of learnings and trainings and introductions to other coaches who are incredibly successful and ways that you can just continue to learn from them. So backed by a really amazing company with a awesome backbone in fitness and transformations. So I did just really quickly want to go through, coaching for me is a lot about friendships. So it is all of the girls that you see on this slide are some of my best friends. I haven't known them for much longer than a year, but every single one of them I could probably have an hours and hours long conversation with because I've known them. I've coached groups with them. They are like-minded. They want something better for themselves in life and are very passionate about helping other people to achieve their fitness goals. I've traveled with these girls. This picture on the bottom two is at Summit last year. I have been on trips with them to Dallas. We had a really awesome leadership trip in Dallas in September, which was amazing, which was a little more intimate, and we got some really amazing training and access to social media and branding and a lot of other really awesome tips and tricks that are working not just for Beachbody coaches, but for professionals that are building marketing businesses and social networking businesses online. So there's a tremendous opportunity for just building yourself professionally. So we talk a lot about the 4 vital behaviors, and these are kind of like the 4 pillars of coaching. The first is professional development, which we all do. And one of the things that you do in getting started right is read the book. Oh gosh, Katie, what is the name of that?
The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
By Darren Hardy.
My favorite.
I totally was blank.
It will change your life.
But the bottom line is, it is basically you do small behaviors each and every day, and it changes basically over time, those become a huge compound effect. It's like compounding interest over time. That's my finance background. So little bitty things every single day, huge effects long term. I've read the book like 4 times. Can't believe I blanked on the name of it. So the second is become a product of the product. We are all doing workouts. We are all drinking Shakeology every day. We are all making sure that we are seeing our own transformations first, because if we are cheesing out on our workouts on a daily basis, certainly no one is going to buy into anything that we're doing. So first and foremost is to put ourselves first, make sure we're getting our workouts in, make sure our nutrition's on point, and make sure we are a product of the product. Recognizing. I love to recognize my challengers. I love to recognize the coaches on my team for the awesome things that they are doing. So I love that recognition is a huge piece of the vital behaviors that's been very hugely utilized for successful coaches, because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good to recognize other people for doing great things. And then invite. We talk a lot about inviting in this business, and it's just basically inviting people to challenge groups, inviting people to look at the coaching opportunity. I don't think we probably invite nearly as much as we probably should, but that's because I think that we are all very conscious of the fact that we don't want to be salesy. We want to be authentic. We want to be ourselves. And when I think about putting an invitation out to someone, it really is authentically because I think that this product and these workouts changed my life. So I want someone else to see the same effect in their own life. So those are the 4 things that we kind of focus on as coaches. So transformation. So I talked a lot about that being the product of the product. So these are real life transformations of our team. This is mine off to the right here. My day 1, day 21, day 100. And I got some really awesome abs in there. And after 2 kids, I didn't think that was even remotely possible. So, I think the bottom line, like, this is Juliet on our team down here. She went from having 3 kids and having kind of my mom bod, same thing as me, to being this like rock hard body through home workouts. These are all from home workouts in our living room, just following a plan and being a product of the product. So transformations are what it's all about. This is why we are passionate about this business. This is why we show up every day. And this is why we are incredibly passionate about paying it forward. We've seen these transformations in ourselves. We've seen them in our challengers. We see the smiles light up on people's faces when they finally get that shine back. This is why we do this. And this is why coaching is so special to me. So I did want to take a couple of minutes to talk about compensation and that compound effect that Darren Hardy talks about, because it is seriously comes into play when it comes to the compensation. So we saved the compensation slide till a little later in the presentation, mainly because it's not why we do this. And first and foremost, now we wouldn't be here if there wasn't some kind of compensation that was associated with it, but it is something that builds slow and steady over time. And if money is the only thing that motivates you and it's not your heart for helping people, you probably will not be long-term for this business, because it takes a long time to build that residual income over time. And it's different for everybody. Some people jump in full force. They're incredibly excited about this business. They see the long-term vision. They see the money that they can make, the people that they can help, and they're in immediately. Some people, it takes a little bit of time. Someone like myself who's working like 50 hours a week in their full-time job, I can't devote 50 hours a week to Beachbody. I would love to, because I'm so passionate about it, but I just don't have that time. So I put in the time that I can. I find pockets of time to grow it over time. So I just wanted to go through a little bit of some of the income potential. So the coach on the left has been in the business for 7 years now. So you can see, obviously, her very first month in the business, she earned $0 per week. These are weekly salaries. A year later, she was making $167 a week. So probably about $600 a month, nothing too crazy, $700 a month. A year after that, she was making $785 a week. A year after that, $2,700 a week. A year after that, $7,000. A year after that, $15,000. A year after that, $18,000 a week. So this is by compounding little by little. Your business grows over time. You keep doing those 4 vital behaviors. You're running challenge groups. You're inviting people to be part of your challenge groups, and slowly but surely your business grows over time. So the person on the right, she was very brave in saying that she slacked off for her first 4 years in this business, but she really made up for it in the last 4 or 5 years. So her first year, she was earning $23 a month, or a week. Sorry, I think these are her weekly paychecks. A year later, she was at $35 a week, then $143 a week, $387 a week, $551. So you can see that year over year, this can build to something incredibly big. There are multi-million-dollar earners in this business, but they all share that passion for helping people. But just to give you a good understanding, there is a lot of money to be earned in this business if you build a coaching business and give it time and do those vital behaviors and stay consistent month in and month out. But it takes time, and it's not an overnight get rich quick scheme or anything along those lines. I do also want to say that the compensation in this business is what they call binary. So what that means is the team that you join. So for example, Katie is a coach on my team. I make an income from volume that Katie has in her business, and she makes income from volume that I have in my business. So we are both basically incentivized to help each other be successful, which is, I think we're the only multi-level marketing company that actually incentivizes in that binary way, which is unique. And it just means that we have a kind of a culture for helping each other be successful. And that is the kind of culture that you would be joining. The last slide that I wanted to introduce you to on compensation this is Rob and Chelsea. They are our upline coaches in the Shred Nation group. And they also had very slow and steady success over time. Chelsea, I think, blew this business off for like the first couple of years. And she talks a lot about the fact that she really has built it with a lot of intention the last 4 years or so. So her first year, she earned $17,000. Rob earned $8,000. So, $25,000 as a hobby, and not too bad. Second year, her income went up. She was able to open a second business center, which that word BC is business center. Nothing too crazy to get into. A lot of this is covered more deeply in the Getting Started Right training. But as you can see, year over year, as they added coaches to their team, as they had challengers join their challenge groups, their income grew to quite a sizable income in 2015. And I think they've probably had their most tremendous group since 2015. So the last 2 years, Chelsea has become a part of the $1 Million Earning Club. So this is a little bit of an older slide, but just to show you, there is some amazing opportunities to build income in this business, but it does take time. Any questions on that? Does that make sense? Okay. So last couple of slides, I just wanted to go over kind of what your 3 options are to be a coach. Now, some of you who are either on this call or are listening to the recording of this call are discount coaches. And any one of these 3, I hate to give them labels because quite honestly, you can straddle the line between one of these circles and another. So a discount coach just basically means you love Shakeology, you love being part of challenge groups, you want to continue with them. You want that 25% discount as part of being a Beachbody coach, and you save $16 to $20 a month depending which state you're in. So a lot of people start as a hobby coach. A hobby coach is kind of like what I was talking about before, when there are people who coach soccer on the side or teach yoga or do something part of a running club. They want to do something that is a little bit bigger and want to help people, and they want to dip their toe in the water maybe, and they are a hobby coach. They run challenge groups on the side. They have a passion for helping people. they maybe want to get their Shakeology paid for each month. That is what we would consider a hobby coach. Maybe you make an extra, $400 or $500 a month, and that is something that is just really awesome for you. And you're not really looking for a huge team of coaches.